Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another Osoroshi Saturday. I hope you don't mind that these have been coming out seemingly every other weekend, more or less. And it's given me time to really put a lot of research and actual thought into each episode, and given me time to actually look up things that I find to be the scariest, the creepiest. And that's what I like with this show. I like taking the time to actually find things that you and I both will find creepy, and that's what we're going to start tonight with. A creepy little story. This one is from Nichan, a story from 2004, posted in the middle of a thread called Post About Strange Occurrences Around You, thread 26. The poster was anonymous at first, but started attaching their name later. I believe their name was Hasumi, so we'll expect that the person who did post this was the unknown last name Hasumi, who indicated posts may be made from the creator on Nichan, and indicated posts made by any other Nichan users were not given a name or a title. So Nichan is the equivalent to 4chan in America, and it pretty much is like a text group like you would see online, or a forum posters that you would see in 4chan, but it happens much quicker, much faster, and the responses are usually in real time. It's not posts that you come back and keep checking regularly on a daily basis, but more second by second. So this is kind of like a conversation between those posters. Let's just go ahead and read it. This is Hasumi starting it off, and she's talking about while she's on a station right now, on a train ride, and headed to a station that she usually takes. She says, "This may be my imagination, but can I post it anyway?" Go ahead. What's going on? I've been riding a certain train for a while, but something seems strange. I always take this train to work, but it hasn't stopped at any stations for the past 20 minutes or so. It usually takes about 5 minutes, 7 or 8 at the worst. Oh, and there's only 5 passengers, and they're all sleeping. Did you take the express train by mistake? The person asked this because it's really easy to do in Japan. You may just walk onto a train and not even look at the posting at the top of the train as far as it being local express, semi-express, and then there's sometimes strange ones in between that. The other poster asks, "Is it a high-speed train?" Hasumi says, "Well, it's possible. I may have just missed my stop. I'll wait a little longer. If anything else strange occurs, I'll bring it up then." Try going to the car on the end to see the conductor. So pretty much what you can do is while you're on the train, you can go to the front car that'll have the back window of the conductor's area. And that's what she's telling Hasumi to do, the other poster here. It would be really bad if the driver had had an epileptic fit or narcolepsy. This actually has happened in Japan, where a conductor had a narcoleptic situation and fell asleep at the wheel. I mean, that's okay unless the train needs to come to a stop, which could be really dangerous. You should check on the conductor. Still no signs of stopping, so alright, I'll go check the conductor's area. Hasumi comes back and she says, "There were blinds or something covering the window." That's pretty odd. Usually the conductor will let everybody on the train see them so that they can, I guess, have a little more confidence that the train is safe. "I couldn't see the conductor or the driver. The route is a private railway in Shizuoka." Shizuoka is the area of Japan, I believe Molly lives there, the other J-vlogger known as Molly, and Softy Papa Kurt, I believe, used to live there. He now lives in America, though. "Can you knock on the window?" "I tried that, but nobody answered." "Can you see out the window? The names of the stations you're passing?" Hasumi says, "We came out of a tunnel, so we're dropping speed slightly. There usually aren't any tunnels, though. It's a train from Shin Hamatsu. I still can't see any stations yet." "Ah, it looks like we're finally stopping at a station." "You aren't going to get off there, are you?" "We're stopped at Kisaragi Station. I wonder if I should get off. I've never heard of this place before." "Definitely check it out." No. Stay on the train. Stay till the last stop." "But it's probably already leaving now, isn't it?" She's talking about the train. She's asking if the train's leaving as she just stepped off. "When did you get on the train?" Hasumi says, "I've gotten off the train. The station is unmanned. I believe I got on the train at 11:40. Sometimes this does happen with very small countryside stations that they're unmanned, but for the most part that's actually pretty rare. Okay. So now her friends on Nichan are trying to help her, like, Google search the station. She says, I'm not finding any information on Kisaragi Station. And Hasumi, your train was going for over an hour. That's really strange because the track shouldn't even be that long. The second poster says, yeah, I'm not getting any results for Kisaragi Station either. Hasumi says, I'm looking for a schedule so I can get back, but I can't find one. The train is still stopped, so it'd probably be safe to get back on. Well, it left while I was writing that. Never mind, I can't get back on the train. Is there anyone else nearby or any buildings? It's cold out there, so be careful. I'll look for a taxi to get from the station. Thank you very much. Sounds good. Take care. Way past the last train at an unmanned station. Really questionable if you have any luck finding a taxi there. And so Hasumi became an inhabitant of a two-dimensional world. So the people are kind of alluding to something strange already happening, just in a joking manner, not being serious, saying she became part of a two-dimensional world, just like she got warped into some sort of trans-dimensional world because of this weird station. Hasumi says, there doesn't seem to be any taxis. Can you call 110? That's the police number in Japan. It's like 911. Call the taxi company? If there's any telephone booth nearby, look up the taxi company in the phone book and call. Hasumi says, I called home and asked to be picked up, but neither of my parents know where I am. They've never seen or heard of Kisaragi Station. They'll look for it on maps so they can come get me, but I am getting a little bit scared now. What about the others? Are you the only one who got off on the train? Yeah, I checked online too for Kisaragi Station and nothing is coming up. Am I wrong assuming that it's around Shin Hamamatsu? I'll check Yahoo search as well. In Japan, Yahoo search is more common than Google search. It's a bit strange, but... Hasumi says, I looked for a public phone, but there's nothing, and no one else got off, so I'm alone now. It's definitely called Kisaragi Station, though, and I still don't see anyone around here. Sometimes they have phones outside this station. Can you use one of those? I'll look into it. Apparently, it's written for the kanji for... devil? But it reads Kisaragi, so... What she means is the kanji for Kisaragi Station is also the same kanji used for devil. Sometimes multiple kanji have multiple meanings, and it can change depending on what the secondary kanji is next to it. So that's what she's talking about here, that the kanji that's been used is the kanji most often used for devil. It would be very rare to use this. For the most part, Japan doesn't like to name stuff that would have kind of like demonic names and stuff like that. That doesn't really make a lot of people feel safe, so it's pretty rare. Alright, let's see what it says next. Devil Station? Yikes. Are you a gaming nerd? Because a game comes up if I try to Google Kisaragi. Tell us the name of the stations before and after Kisaragi so we can search those too. What do you mean a game? It doesn't say what the next and previous stations are, so I can't tell you those. Well, just walk back along the track. If you start running now, you can catch up to the train, haha. That must be real funny. She's already in kind of a bad situation, but that is Nichan for you, so whatever. Okay, let's see. There must be houses around the station, right? Yes, there are. I didn't quite notice since I was panicking. I'm waiting for my parents to call while I'm walking along the track. I tried checking out town information on iMode, but it gave me a point error or something. Man, I really want to go home. There's really just nothing around here. All I can see is fields and mountains, but I think I'll be able to make it back if I go back down the track, so I'll just keep pushing on. Thank you very much, everyone. Treat this as a joke if you will, but I can come to you if I encounter any more trouble. Oh, it says, can I come to you if I encounter any more trouble? So, can she ask any more questions of the Nichan group if she has more trouble? They say, of course, just be careful out there. Sure, make sure you don't run out of a battery so that your phone's lifeline is kept safe right now. Yes, don't get lost and be careful in the tunnel. Huh? Can you get a signal out in the middle of nowhere? I kind of think you shouldn't stray too far from the station if you get a signal there. All alone on a cold night at a station with no attendants, soon the lights could go out. It'll be pitch black. It might be safest just to wait till daybreak at the station. Man, that sounds bad. Alright, so back to Hasumi. I got a call from my father, and he had many questions. but he simply couldn't find my location. I've been told to call 110, which I'm a little opposed to doing, but I'll try asking them for help right now. I really think you should wait until it gets lighter out before you do anything. Waiting all alone at the dead of night in some ominous place? Yikes. Going through a tunnel alone in the dead of night? And all by yourself? Yeah, that does sound scary. Kind of redundant there. I called 110 and tried absolute best to explain the situation, but they thought it was all a joke and got angry at me. I got scared and I just apologized. Apologized for what? Should probably give up for today. Just wait for the first train for tomorrow. What's it like around the station? What's there? I hear what sounds like a beating drum mixed with some kind of bell way off in the distance. Honestly, I have no idea what to do at this point. Get back to the station for now, Hasumi. It's best to return to where you started when you're lost. Here's where it gets going. Are they having a festival or what? What does that mean? Here's where it gets going. That's kind of a strange comment in the middle of it. Hasumi says, you might think I'm kidding, but I'm too scared to look behind me. I do not want to go back to the station, but I don't dare turn around at the same time. Run and don't look back. You can't go back to the station now. Run through the tunnel. I'm sure you'll find your way. It's not too far. Hasumi says, someone behind me yelled, hey, don't walk on the track. That's dangerous. I looked around expecting to see an attendant, and I saw a one-legged old man, but he vanished. I think I'm too scared to move. I told you not to look back. Run. Calm down and listen to my big bro, okay? Check out where the drum's coming from. There's bound to be someone playing it. But by big bro, what they mean is if there's an older person, they'll call him Oni-chan, which means like older brother. They probably mean the one-legged man is big bro, which is kind of just like a name of endearment for just strangers you mix. You would call them big sister or big bro or Oba-chan or Oji-chan, like grandmother or grandfather. It doesn't mean they're actually related to them. Where the hell are you planning to take Hasumi? I guess this person's asking the other poster. Why'd you know it was an old man if he just had a single leg? I think Hasumi meant an old man who lost one of his legs. Must have been an old man who died and lost a long leg walking back along the track. Hasumi says, I can't walk or run any further. The drumming sound is getting a little closer. Wait for dawn. It won't be scary in the daylight. I'm glad I stayed on the train today. So these are other posters just commenting on her situation. Hasumi, I'm still alive, but I fell and I started bleeding and I broke my heel. So I'm still sitting on the ground. I don't want to die now. It should be safe if you leave the tunnel. Once you get out of there, call for help immediately. I called home. Dad's calling the police. But the sound keeps getting closer. The sound of the drums. I hope to God that's not the sound of the train, but it might be too late for her. Hasumi says, I finally managed to make it back to the front of the tunnel. The name says Isanuki. The sound's still getting closer, so I'm going to leave the tunnel. If I'm safe once I get out of the tunnel, I'll post again. Good luck, Hasumi. Alright. The other poster, who both of them are anonymous, says, this is the end. Forget about the trains and the stations. Forget about going back. Forget about someone chasing you. The sound you're hearing is just something you've imagined. Run out of the tunnel. If you stop, you'll only succumb to something which does not belong to this world. Hasumi says, I left the tunnel. There's someone up ahead. It looks like all of your advice was right after all. Thank you so much, guys. My face is such a mess from tears. This person might just mistake me for a monster. I guess she's saying they might mistake her for a monster because like her makeup's been running and she's been crying and her face looks bad. The Nichan posters say, wait, Hasumi, don't die on us. Wait, stop, that can't be good. Someone's there this late at night? That sounds suspicious. No, he seems gentle, and he was worried for me. He called for a train to take me to the nearest station. Apparently he's some kind of business hotel owner here. I'm truly thankful to all of you. Hasumi, please answer me on this. Can you ask that man what this place is? The other poster says, is he really gentle? He sounds kind of scary from what you said. That guy's no good. Why is he by the track at this hour? He must have been a corpse or something, Hasumi. Run. Hasumi says, I asked him where it was, and he said Hina. That's the name of the place. It's just called Hina. It's kind of a strange name. That seems extremely unlikely, though. Hasumi, get off the train. Excuse me, Hasumi, where is this place you've said called Hina? We've been headed towards the mountains for some time, Hasumi says. It really doesn't strike me as a place where trains would go. We've kept walking for quite some time, and he's stopped talking to me entirely. Probably because you're constantly messing with your phone. Isn't that rude? Hasumi, no. You need to contact your parents after you get out of the tunnel. You need to contact them and receive aid. Don't receive aid from this guy. Hasumi, just call 110. This might be your last chance. Alright, Hasumi's last post here says, my battery is almost dead. Things are getting so strange, so I think I'm going to make a run for it. He's been talking to himself about bizarre things for a while now. To prepare for just the right time, I'm going to make this my last post for now and make a run for it. Afterward, Hasumi was never heard from again. So, after this post, she was never heard from again. The poster was never heard from again, and no one knows exactly what happened. Very, very strange story. What exactly happened here, we don't know. This Kisaragi Station, I've never heard of it before, but I'm very interested in finding out where it is. If it's in Shizuoka, it's not too far from me. It's maybe about a 2-hour trip. Maybe I'll check it out for one of my Osoroshi Saturdays. Alright guys, back to another session of Know Your Yokai. This is the section where I draw and read about some of Japan's most famous yokai. Yokai are either demons or sometimes ghosts or sometimes vengeful female ghosts or strange demons that have a very special selection of things they haunt or attack, and that's what I'm reading here. All the drawings that you see during this are my own original drawings. I hope you do enjoy. Our demon or yokai for today is Baku, the legend of the Dream Eater. Baku, otherwise known as the Dream Eater, is a mythological being or spirit in Chinese and Japanese folklore, which is said to devour nightmares. The Baku cannot be summoned without caution. However, as ancient legends say, if the Baku is not satisfied after consuming a nightmare, he may also devour one's hopes and dreams as well. Tales of the Baku devouring nightmares originated in Chinese folklore and later appeared in Japanese folklore between the 14th and 15th centuries, in what was known as the Muromachi period. While the Baku is a spiritual being, it is also well defined in appearance. It takes the form of a chimera, a mythological beast comprised of a variety of animal parts. The Baku is typically depicted with a bear's body, an elephant's nose, a tiger's feet, an oxen tail, and rhinoceros eyes. According to the legend, the Baku was created by spare pieces that were left over when the gods finished creating all animals. Descriptions and beliefs in the Baku have changed through the years. In ancient Chinese legends, the Baku was an animal that was hunted for its pelt. Whoever killed the Baku would use a blanket made from the pelt as a talisman, or an object with magical powers which would protect them from evil spirits. This practice evolved into where a pelt was not necessarily just a display of a Baku image, but it would also be an image that would repel evil spirits. The pelt, or the very skin and hide of an animal made into a blanket, was supposed to act like this sort of talisman. It wasn't until the Baku legends made their way to Japan that the figure was viewed as the Dream Eater. With this transition, the stories of Baku became consistent, and he's continued to be viewed as a Dream Eater to this day. Legend has it that a person who wakes up from a bad dream can call out to Baku. A child having a nightmare in Japan will wake up and repeat 3 times, Baku-san, 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 come eat my dream. Baku-san can come and eat the child's dream. He can come into the child's room and devour any bad dream. This will allow the child to go back to sleep and hopefully sleep peacefully. However, calling on Baku must be done sparingly, because if he returns hungry after eating one's nightmare, he may also devour their good dreams as well as their hopes for the future, leaving them to live an empty life. Bukimi Bites is up next, and this is where we review horror games and movies, old or new titles, hopefully ones you haven't heard of that give you a new taste of fear when you're experiencing different types of media. Our first title tonight starts with a video game called Cursed Mountain, which only came out for the Wii. I don't believe it came out for any other system. It's a video game set in the 1980s as gamers take on the role of a mountaineer, and he's climbing into the Himalayas on a quest to find his lost brother. As he gets farther and farther into this mountain atmosphere, he starts to actually reach death zones within there where the altitude literally makes it impossible to breathe and he needs a breathing machine and stuff like that. And that isn't the main horror, that's just one aspect of the survival horror. But also he encounters an ancient curse with the souls of the people who died in that region are stuck in limbo and caught in this sort of shadow world. It's everything from villagers, pilgrims, and other mountaineers who had tried to climb into this death zone. They're dead and they cannot be reincarnated. They cannot go through the cycle that Buddhism has within its religious different levels of being. Everyone who's left on this mountain creates these terrible visions for him. They distort his reality. They even use ghosts and demons to block his path. And the whole time that you're playing this and that you're acting as this mountaineer, you're not even sure that your brother's alive. So you've got this kind of hopeless feeling surrounding you as you explore. It's really amazing atmosphere, a very unique idea, title, and setting, and something I highly recommend for those of you just with a Wii sitting around there collecting dust. Alright, last up we have a horror movie called X Game, a Japanese horror movie this time. X Game is the perfect anti-bully movie. It's kind of a revenge movie, and it deals with these 4 students who wake up in a classroom and they have to play this deadly game that's been left by someone who has it in for them, who has a sense of revenge for them. And this game is called the X Game. They will try to endure all these different demented tortures, and it's kind of Saw-esque in its torture games. And the whole time they're trying to discover why they're in this room, why this is happening to them. If you like the Saw movies, you'll probably like this. It's kind of a Japanese version of Saw. And at the same time, it makes a great statement about bullying in Japan, which is actually a big problem. I think socially it makes a great statement. A great movie, very dreadful experience, but definitely not for the faint of heart. Alright guys, that's it for this week of Osoroshi Saturday. I hope you enjoyed everything you saw here today. If you did like everything you saw here today, please think about commenting, thinking about liking, thumbs up, subscribing, and the biggest, as always, the biggest help that you can do is share this video. The more you share, the more you care. The more you let people know about this, the more likes it gets, the more views it gets, the more of them I make. If you'd like to see this more often than just bi-weekly, help me get it out there and help it get seen, and you, my friend, will see more Osoroshi Saturday.